guys, welcome back to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. On this channel, I teach you how to make some of my favorite and most delicious, easy to do recipes that are perfect for entertaining and for sharing with the ones that you love, so that way you too can create beautiful memories. Now today, I'm going to teach you how to make another spanakopita recipe. If you're like me, you can't have enough. This one is a little bit different. It's the same classic spanakopita filling that I've used over and over again to create so many different versions, except it's going to be made with a homemade pastry dough. This one is going to be a Kourou dough. I use it to make a cheese pie or cheese pies in the past, and I've also used it to make my chicken turnovers. It is delicious, flaky, tender, and just so easy to make. It's the easiest pie crust that you'll ever make. It doesn't have any butter in it, and it's still super good. We're going to begin by making the crust, and I'm using a tabletop mixer just because I have one, but this easily comes together in a big bowl with a mixer and your hands. You start off with a mixer and then you use your hands. If you want to know how I do that, by hand, you can click up here in the card and you can watch that video where I made the chicken turnovers, so that way you could do it by hand. But if you have a stand mixer, it is your best friend in the kitchen because it makes life so easy. It all starts with a cup of olive oil. And if you're wondering why the dough hook looks a little bit dirty, it's because I made a batch of this earlier, because you'll see why in a little bit. And always start with the olive oil, because next we're going to add a cup of Greek yogurt, and it's going to make the yogurt come out very easily from the cup if there's already some olive oil in there. Half a teaspoon of sugar, half a teaspoon of salt, and a tablespoon of lemon juice. If you don't have lemon juice, you can do a tablespoon of white vinegar. That'll do too. And I'm just going to eyeball it, try to catch any seeds. And last, we're going to put an egg. And that's the last of the wet ingredients. I'm just going to whisk them all together. Now I'm going to add the flour. I have 4 cups of all-purpose flour, or 611 grams. And I'm going to knead it until a dough is formed. So it just takes a couple of minutes for the dough to come together. You do not want to overmix it, because then it's going to get tough. You can actually undermix it. That would be a little bit better. And then when you put it into the bowl, you could knead it a little bit until it comes together. I'm going to put a couple tablespoons of olive oil in the bowl. And I'm going to transfer all of the dough to the bowl, and I'm just going to toss it to coat in the oil. Then I'm going to cover it with a clean kitchen towel and let it sit aside for about 30 minutes so it can rest. So while the dough is resting, we're going to move on to making our spinach pie filling, and this is the same filling that I use over and over again, and it starts with a pound of fresh spinach. So I'm just going to roughly chop it. This is baby spinach that I buy from the store that's already pre-washed and everything. If you buy it and you wash it anyway, you can go ahead and do that, but I feel like it's really clean, so I'm just going to roughly chop it. Once the spinach is roughly chopped, then you're going to go ahead and thinly slice some scallions. I use about 5 to 6 scallions, and I only use the green and light green parts. I save the white parts for soups and stocks, or even for some salads. I just don't like them in here particularly because they're a little bit on the stronger side. The green parts are a little bit milder. You're going to want to make sure that you rinse them very well under cold water in a bowl. Put them in a bowl with some cold water, and then take them out and put them in a strainer and just take out the excess water and set it aside. Again, I'm going to use my mixer, my KitchenAid mixer, to mix the whole thing together because it makes it very easy. It's fitted with the paddle attachment. I'm just going to throw everything in there. If you don't have one, you could definitely do this by hand. You can just mix everything together in a bowl until it's well combined. So I'm going to put ricotta cheese in here. It's almost a pound of ricotta cheese. This one is actually 15 ounces. Then I'm going to add 3 whole eggs. And it's actually better to break the eggs in a separate bowl. I'm actually taking a risk, because if you ever get a bad egg, the whole thing is going to go bad. It has happened probably 2 times in 10 years of cooking. So I'm taking a risk right now, but it's better if you're doing this at home to break the eggs in a little bowl and then add them to the mixer. And I'm just going to beat the eggs a little bit with a fork. I'm going to take the paddle attachment off so that way everything goes in easily. I'm just going to put half the spinach, and then I'll put the other half once this breaks down. I have a pound of feta cheese that I'm going to crumble in here. 3 teaspoons of dry dill. If you have fresh dill, you can do about a 1/4 cup of fresh dill in here, finely chopped. And some olive oil. And I'm also going to add half a teaspoon of salt. The feta cheese is already salty, but it needs a little bit more. And I'm going to do a teaspoon of freshly cracked black pepper. You could put more or less depending on how you like it. I'm going to put the paddle attachment back on. And I'm going to mix this until it starts to break down. Then once it starts to break down, I'm going to stop mixing and put the rest of the spinach in here and let it continue to mix until the whole mixture is nice and creamy and broken down. So even though it gets well mixed in the mixer, I like to go in with a spatula and give it another 2 or 3 mixes to kind of get whatever's on the bottom, whatever might be stuck on the bottom, incorporated throughout the filling. And the filling just smells so good. I cannot wait till this is ready. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to make these pies 2 ways. We're going to make a big pie using this, I think it's 10-inch round deep dish pie plate for that. Or you can make little ones. We're going to do little hand pies, also known as turnovers, also known as pitakia in Greek. Now I did have a little poll on my Instagram story the other day. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, make sure you do. The link is down below. Show you lots of behind the scenes, what I'm working on, recipe testing, and things like that. And I know that some people call these hand pies, some people call them turnovers. Turnovers won, you guys. I grew up calling them turnovers too. In Greek, of course, they're called pitas. We're basically going to cut the dough into 2 portions. One portion is going to be slightly bigger than the other portion. The bottom portion needs to be a little bit bigger because it needs to go up the sides of the bowl. And the top just needs to cover the filling. So I would say the top needs to be about 1/3 of the whole mixture. And then the bottom should be 2/3. Now this filling is enough to make 2 whole pies or 32 little turnovers. So it's up to you what you want to do. So I did make a double batch of dough because I am going to need it. I'm just going to roll this part out. You don't need any flour because there's enough oil in this dough to help it roll out very easily. I'm going to roll this out about 12 to 14 inches in diameter. And the trick to getting it as close to a circle as possible is to rotate it every few rolls. This is a very pliable dough, so easy to work with. In Greece, there are so many different versions of pitas, pies, spinach pies, cheese pies, chicken pies, leek pies, all different kinds of pies. And within those different pies, there are different ways that they make them using different pastries. So phyllo, of course, being the most popular, but this kourou dough is Greece's national pastry dough, and it's very rich and tender. And they do make lots of pies using this dough too, so I thought, why not recreate it in a big pie form? And then while I was making it, I thought, why not make little ones too, so that way you could freeze them and have them on hand if guests, ever pop by or stop by and you want to serve them something delicious, or even if you want to prepare it and bake some off and take them to work or send them in your kids' lunch boxes. Really delicious and really easy. They bake up in 35 minutes. So this is ready. Now I'm going to roll it onto my rolling pin and I'm going to transfer it onto the pie plate. Now I'm going to take half of this filling and put it inside the pie crust, or on top of the pie crust. Did I say half? I'm going to put a little bit more than half in here. And just spread it out. And now I'm going to roll out the top of the crust. And you could get creative with this. If you want to make a lattice crust, if you're fancy schmancy and you want to make a very fancy pie crust and you know how to do that kind of stuff, you can go ahead and do it. What I'm making is going to be very pretty too, and it's more simple. It's more on the simple side. So you just want to roll it up big enough to cover the top, basically. And now you can get as fancy with the edges as your heart desires. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to connect them all together like that. And then I'm just going to pinch the sides like this, just to create this very decorative, beautiful border. Almost looks like lichnarakia, the little Cretan cheese pies that I taught you around Easter time. You go back around one more time just to kind of reinforce that pattern. Now I'm going to brush the top with some egg wash, okay? And then one final thing, we need to cut little holes on top. I'm going to do 4, so that way the steam can escape. And you just cut 4 slits first. And you watch how pretty this is going to look, like that. And then you're going to go to each slit and sort of spread it out a little bit to make almost like a teardrop shape. Fancy with minimal effort. That's how I roll. Isn't that beautiful? If you have some sesame seeds, you could sprinkle some sesame seeds on top. I'm drooling because I cannot wait to taste this. At this point, you could do 2 things. You could either freeze it, you could put it in the freezer and just let it set and harden and then wrap it up in foil and plastic wrap and then just use it whenever you're ready. I'll give you all those tips and tricks at the end of the video. Or what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to bake it. I have my oven preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to bake it until it's beautifully golden on top. It's going to take around an hour, so about 55 minutes to an hour and 10 minutes. I'll tell you how long it took once it's done. I'm going to put it in the oven, and then we're going to make the little mini pies. So you could easily make 2 pies with this. I made a double batch of the Kourou dough, or if you make 2 pies, it keeps fresh in the freezer. 1 pie can stay fresh in the freezer up to 3 months, so that is pretty cool. But I'm going to make little pies with this batch of dough and the remaining filling. So to do that, I'm going to cut it in 2 equal portions first, and then I'm going to cut each portion into 8 pieces. I like to roll it out a little bit first, and I first cut it in half, in 4 pieces, and then each piece in half to get 8 pieces. And of course, they're not as equal as I'd like them to be, but we're going to have some big ones and some small ones. If you want them perfect at the same size, just take out a scale and then you can weigh the dough, and that'll be the best thing to do. So now we're going to take each portion and we're going to roll it into a ball. Again, you don't need any flour for this. If it starts to stick, just put a little bit of olive oil on your work surface and just rub it so that way that it's not too greasy. And that's going to help them roll out very easily. So you're going to roll these out to about 5 inches in diameter. Obviously, if they're the smaller ones can be rolled a little bit smaller, and the bigger ones can even go up to 7 inches. It doesn't matter. Next, we're going to add about a tablespoon or a heaping tablespoon of the filling, and we're going to fold it over. Then you want to take a fork and press it down all around the edges to create a beautiful decorative pattern. Look at that. And then we're going to pick it up and place it on a baking tray that's lined with parchment paper. So it makes 16. There was just enough filling to make 16 little turnovers. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut little holes on top. And then at this point, you're going to brush the ones that you're going to bake with the egg wash. And the rest, you can put them in the freezer. And once they harden and they set, transfer them to freezer-safe bags, and they will stay fresh in the freezer up to 3 months, and then just go ahead and bake them until they're golden when you're ready to use them. Of course, you could sprinkle some sesame seeds on top. My oven is preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to bake these 6. I'm only baking 6. The rest I'm going to freeze. I'm going to bake them for about 30 to 35 minutes or until they're nice and golden, and then I'm going to take them out and let them set for about 10 minutes. Then they're going to be ready to serve. So the best thing about this pie is that you can make it ahead and freeze it. So if you're going to freeze it before you bake it. If you freeze it after you bake it, it's not going to taste fresh, so don't do that. Put it in the freezer. When it's solid and frozen, wrap it with foil and with plastic wrap. And then when you're ready to bake it, do not preheat your oven. You're going to take it out of the freezer, brush it with some egg wash, and then put it in the oven. Then you're going to turn the oven on and let it warm together with the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. It's going to take an hour and 30 minutes about, or until it's nice and golden all around. Once that happens, take it out, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to want to let it set. The reason I'm saying that is because if you're going to freeze it in a ceramic pan, a ceramic baking pan like I have, once that pan freezes, if you're going to put it in a hot oven, it can crack. Ask me how I know. I've had all sorts of experiences in these past years learning how to bake and practicing and entertaining. Lots of disasters happen, and I did not want that to happen to you. So never put a cold ceramic pan into a hot oven. You want it to, warm slowly with the oven. As far as the turnovers are concerned, you can bake them from the oven. From the freezer to the oven, no problem. You can preheat the oven there because more than likely they're in freezer bags, and you're going to put them on a stainless steel tray or an aluminum tray, and that's fine. They're going to take about 35-40 minutes straight out of the freezer in the oven. They're going to be delicious. This is something that you want to have on hand. So when you're making these, it is a good idea to make double. So the pie is ready, and so are the little mini pies, or the turnovers, whatever you want to call them. The turnovers cooked in 35 minutes, and the pie took an hour and 5 minutes to cook. Every oven bakes differently, so keep an eye on it. Once you see that the filling is nice and bubbly inside and the color is beautifully golden on top, take it out and then let the pie set for a good 20 minutes. Otherwise, when you go in to cut it, it's just going to fall apart. You want it to set. This tastes best at room temperature, so you can just put it out at the dinner. You can make it in the morning and then put it out, warm it slightly before your dinner party for about 10 minutes at like 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and then go ahead and serve this with some tzatziki sauce. It's so good. And look at the turnovers. Look just how beautiful they are. I'm gonna cut into one just so you could see the inside. Look at how juicy that is and how flaky how flaky the pastry is. The whole thing is delicious. The filling tastes nice and fresh and cheesy. And the pastry is so tender and just heavenly. It's like the doors of heaven have opened and they've let me in. The recipe for this is in the description box down below with the step-by-step ingredients and the exact measurements. If you're going to want to serve some tzatziki sauce with this, click on this card over here and I will see you right over there. Bye everyone.